Thank you for joining us this evening. I am President Camille Simmons, and this is the Rochester Board of Education. This is our board business meeting, and today is Thursday, May 22nd. At this time, I will be calling the meeting to order and starting with a reverence and pledge of allegiance to the flag. This evening, we actually happen to have some special guests in our viewing space here from our JROTC community. And I would love if one of the students would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance this evening. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very, very much. I also want to just recognize, as we just set up the landscape here, this evening, Superintendent Demario Strickland is joining us online. He will be with us online this evening. And Deputy Superintendent Ruth Turner will be joining us here this evening at the dais in his support while he is online. We also have Commissioner Cynthia Elliott, who I want to also take a moment to acknowledge that she is online this evening. There have been questions around different things, and I want to acknowledge that Commissioner Elliott has not been well and has not been able to attend some of the meetings. So as you join in to see meetings, you may see her online, but that is where we are with some things, and I will respect that statement where it stands. Also this evening, our board clerk, Clerk Wynn, is under the weather, and so we are being joined by our auditor, Anissa Henry Wheeler, who will be in space for her this evening. And so I'm going to turn the mic over to you, Anissa, for the board upcoming events, if you will, at this time.
President Simmons, would you like to give a motion for the acting clerk?
Oh, yes, thank you for that. I'd like to entertain a motion to accept Anissa Henry Wheeler as our acting clerk for this particular evening.
So moved.
Moved by Vice President Malloy, seconded by Commissioner Griffin. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Thank you, Acting Clerk Wheeler. The mic is yours.
Thank you. Upcoming board events for the month of June. We'd like to start off with an audit committee meeting on Tuesday, June 3rd at 6 p.m., an ESA committee and special meeting for consideration of resolutions Tuesday, June 10th at 6 p.m., scholar athlete recognition Wednesday, June 11th at 5 p.m. The June business meeting is Thursday, June 26th at 6:30 p.m. There's a community conversation with Dr. Rosser on Saturday, June 14th at 11 a.m. at the Jefferson campus at 1 Edgerton Park. All board meetings are held at 131 West Broad Street unless otherwise stated in conference room 3A and B. An individual may register to speak by contacting the Board of Education by noon on the day of the meeting, by calling 262-8525 or emailing boardofelducation@rcsdk12.org. Registered speakers may not address the board. The following information must be included when you request to speak: your name, phone number, home address, affiliation, and the topic on which the individual wishes to speak. Individuals who do not reside in the city of Rochester do not have the privilege of speaking at meetings, except when an exception is granted by the chair of the meeting at which they're requesting. Each registered speaker may address the board for up to 3 minutes, with the exception being speakers utilizing translators, who will be given an additional 3 minutes for translation. View the board meeting calendar at rcsdk12.org/boecalendar.boardofeducation@rcsdk12.org. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the September 17th HC meeting, Committee of the Whole.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Patterson, seconded by Vice President Malloy. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'd also like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the April 1st Policy Committee of the Whole meeting.
So moved.
Moved by Vice President Malloy, seconded by Commissioner Patterson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. This is now walking into or moving toward our speakers portion of this evening, and so I'll be calling you by name. I do want to remind speakers that we provide 3 minutes for speaking. At the 3-minute mark, the alarm will sound, at which will end your opportunity to speak. You are also able to submit comments to the board. We don't typically engage, but we do listen. And so that is how that will happen this evening. And I'd like to call our first speaker. Please correct me when you get to the podium if I mispronounce your name. I am saying Soji Schroeder.
I apologize for having my back to you. Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to speak here. I'm here again on behalf of our program, RIA. Once again, I heard the negative news this morning from my dear friend, Ms. Diaz, that we might be in some way in danger. Teachers have been pulled out from that school. We are left with only a few teachers teaching a large group of students. By now, I doubt that you will need me to tell you why we have refugees in Rochester or in other cities. It would be sinful of me to remind you that there are children who are coming from burning villages, and because that village may not be yours, you may say, I don't care. Because there are hollows in those eyes, you may say, that child is not mine, I don't care. You may not cry because that child is not yours, but believe me, he's still your child. You may not see those running away parents holding on to hope and dreams, trapped in the orchestra of hunger. You may say, I don't care, they are not mine. You may see houses in ruin, nothing growing in gardens, grandfathers digging graves for children. You may say, that is not mine. I will remind you that they are yours. They too are your children, because they shape hope, they shape humanity, they shape courage, they shape peace. So tonight, instead of calling on God, on Abraham, on Moses, on Buddha, on Muhammad, on Tolstoy, on Socrates, I am asking you, instead of everything I want you to see tonight, instead of dreaming, instead of waking, in bed, in shower, in roads, in wherever I go, in Rochester, in the face, in your face, in their faces, I see the children that you are trying to deny a decent education because they need what they need because they cannot get it anywhere else. So please, please hear my call because it matters, because I have no other voice to tell you within it, because I have a kinship to those children, to your children, to my children, and to all children, because we owe them, because we are humans.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Schroeder.
you.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Mr. Greg Detweiler.
Thank you, Board. And that's a tough act to follow. That was a great statement that you read. Thank you so much for advocating for our refugee children, some of the best kids that we have. Good evening, Board. Thanks for giving me the chance to speak. I've really been wanting to come here with this issue for years now, which is we really need to change our field trip process from a 9-page packet for field trips to, I'm suggesting, a 1-page packet or 1 page for non-international trips. I have many friends and colleagues in surrounding districts, and I have seen the inequities that RCSD imposes on, in my opinion, a very beneficial educational opportunity for students, which is field trips. I understand we have a transportation issue in this district, but we also have a lot of places to visit that are right outside our schools, within walking distance. There's so many resources right here in our city that we can and should be taking advantage of. I know that a lot of parents and staff share my questions and concerns, which is, why do we have so much paperwork? Safety, yes, should be a priority, but we are requiring parents and families to fill out the same exact information multiple times. I have brought to this meeting, if you'd like to see it, a sample copy of a neighboring school's district's field trip form. You could see it if you want, but you really could just see that it's a page. I have here the RCSD field trip packet. It's 9 pages long. You have to fill out the same information about sometimes 6 different times on 6 different pages, the same information. So if you would like copies of these, I'm happy to provide them, but you can visually just see 9 pages, 1 page. It's a lot of process. It's a big process, and I have some questions, which is, why does a field trip need to be approved by anyone than our principal if it's a walking trip? If we're just leaving the building for a few hours, I don't understand why we need 9 pages. International trips, overnights, sure. Walking field trip, within a couple minutes walk from our school, I'm trying to understand why we need 9 pages. We also have this issue of certificates of insurances that are needed for a business that definitely have insurance. We had a field trip at my building to a ski mountain to give kids in the city a chance to go to learn how to ski, set up by a retired RCSD teacher. Well, we couldn't get this trip approved until we had to provide insurance, which they, of course, had, but it took unnecessary steps to get it. And I guess I just don't understand why someone can't just reach out to them. I had some field trips that I had scheduled that weren't even approved because they needed a certificate of insurance for a water park, which tomorrow I can tell you we won't be in the water park. But it turns out that they actually already had this certificate of insurance on file. They just needed us to forward the old email. So I hope that the board considers possibly amending this to benefit students and our families. Thank you, board, for having me.
Thank you. Mr. Detweiler, if you don't mind, the 2 packets that you have, the one from the one district, thank you very much, and we'll turn that over to the clerk. Thank you so much. William Carr is our next speaker this evening.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen from the board. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak to you and address you today. Today, you vote on a resolution to continue our partnership, JROTC's partnership with the school district, and we've enjoyed a partnership with this district since 1998. But as you consider your vote, I'd like to introduce some of the people that really make this program great. First, Sergeant Singleton, my fellow Army instructor, and some of the students that make this profession a blast to work here at Rochester City School District. First, I'd like to, if you wouldn't mind standing as I call you, Nyla Jameson, Romani Thomas, Davian Cotton, and Navi Bradley. They were part, Bradbury, I'm sorry. They were part of our Fort Knox team. The Army flew them, all expenses paid, with 14 cadets to Fort Knox to compete in a physical fitness competition that really got them to work and gel together. And in addition to that, I have John Corona, who is our battalion commander, and he's also our expert at drill, who not only leads our battalion, but helps our cadets as a mentor as well. I got Adia Lopez and Ruby Rodriguez, who are really involved in all our parades, all the things that really get our school district and our cadets seen out in the streets, our community service, they're all involved. So thank you very much for what you do. You can go ahead and have a seat if you like. So as you consider, I think we really support the district through your priority 1 in your strategic plan and preparing students for life, because we get them out of the classroom. Sure, our elective credits allow them to get dual credit through MCC, but we get them out on field trips. They get to see what outside Rochester looks like, and we get them into businesses. We get them into talk with Mayor Malik Evans, and we get them into Channel 13 News so they see all the different career fields behind the anchors that they may see every night. So that has been a blast, getting them out and getting them to see everything there is out there. JROTC has a really interesting, probably one of the best problems that I could have as a manager for JROTC is that our budgets are growing, and our programs that JROTC is starting to get into is growing as well, but they're not funding us in terms of personnel. So what a lot of my peers in other schools have done is they've piggybacked off of a club that runs robotics. I have about $10,000 worth of robotics equipment, but there's no robotics program in my school. So if we can move the programs to the school or JROTCs to where the programs are, we can add additional programs. What's interesting, I can add additional program in the district. There was actually a third program from the Navy here a long time ago. The Navy ran out of money. The Army always expands. We've never closed programs. So that's something to consider. I'd love to add another program. So we spent $30,000. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyway, I would love to, robotics, cyber, you name it. There's a lot of really cool programs we can help the district with.
Awesome. And if you have written comments, you feel free to submit those to the clerk for follow-up. Thank you, Mr. Carr. And finally, we have Mary Ann Kolick coming up at this time.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mary Andrew-Coleridge Montesano Diaz, and I'm the very proud founding principal of the Rochester International Academy. I know that it'd be more powerful to have my students and families up here speaking to you, but frankly, we are living in a time that is not safe for my families. So I stand before you as their voices. I was hoping that I would not have to speak tonight. I was hoping that someone would have called me today and reached out to me to tell me that RIA was okay for one more year. Hoping to be told that as a district, there was an understanding of what our refugee, SIV, and immigrant populations are facing in a nation that no longer welcomes them, and that it would be different here in the RCSD. That as a district, you understood the work that we do at RIA, work more important now than ever before, since all of the refugee resettlement agencies have closed per executive orders. But that was not the case. So I do stand before all of you after sending a desperate plea for help to the Board of Education via a letter. I could not believe that all of you on the board would agree to any dismantling of RIA at this time. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that during this uncertainty and fear and hopelessness that my families are facing, that the board would agree to any dismantling of RIA at this time. But unfortunately, I know that there are people in our district that would like to dismantle RIA, maybe on the advice of the state, or for other reasons I am not sure of. I don't know for sure my numbers for next year. I don't know for sure about anything. No one has told me anything. But what I do know is that yesterday I handed out 16 displacement letters to my teaching staff, which would indicate there is some reduction somewhere, but I haven't been told. No kindergarten teacher, no full-time high school content teachers. Not English, math, science, social studies, no full-time teachers. However, I currently have 350 students, and since January 1st, I've received over 120 new students, with a projection of at least 20 new families coming from Keeping Our Promise, an organization that's still bringing families from Afghanistan, where the parents worked for our government in Afghanistan, along with my current 11th and 12th graders. Hence, I've sent placement over 150 names of students in grades K through 12 that should stay at RIA for the 25-26 school year. In fact, those families, upon their arrival, were told they would stay at RIA for the 25-26 school year. Are they now going to be told during this time that they'll have to move? It's almost June. I am begging the board to get involved. I am begging that our district, since the start of I've been begging, 14 years, many awards, over 1,000 students, some who are now doctors, engineers, teachers, humanitarians, productive members of society. You have a picture right behind you, President Simmons. Those are my babies. They're 20, 21, 22, 23 years old, and they're productive members of society. Because I stand before you again begging.
Thank you.
Oh, I didn't hear the bell. I'm so
Finish that
sorry.
sentence 'cause the time
So
is gone.
respectfully,
Yes,
in
ma'am.
time of our nation, unless the nation changes their view, RIA may close itself next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Angel.
Can I comment?
And for the viewing audience, there are also 4 other speakers submitted where comments appear online. And thank you to all speakers who spoke this evening. We have heard you. And that concludes our speakers portion of the evening. Just trying to move forward here. Give me one moment.
I'd like to comment if I could.
So during this particular portion of the evening, we don't comment back to speakers, and that's why I set that stage. So we don't do that. But if you would like to have a conversation offline, I definitely encourage that.
Well, you said something different earlier, but that's okay.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so at this point in time, we're going to move into our council reports, which are the student advisory, parent leadership, and bilingual, as well as our special education reports. And those, we do not have any reports at this time. So I'd like to entertain a motion for the board to convene into executive session to discuss collective negotiations, matters leading to the appointment, promotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of particular persons, student matters which are confidential by federal or state law, and pending or current litigation with general counsel.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Santiago, seconded by Commissioner Griffin. All in favor? We will now, any opposed? With none being heard, we will now exit into executive session at this time. Thank you. And thank you for your patience to our viewing audience. It is 8:09, and we are returning from executive session. And we're going to move forward with the board meeting this evening, starting with our board reports. At this time, we do not have a report noted for the audit committee. I will move forward to the Equity and Student Achievement Committee to have that report provided at this time.
Thank you. The Equity and Student Achievement Committee met as a committee of the whole on Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. During that meeting, Chief Academic Officer Dr. Vicky Ramos presented the proposed K through 5 math and 9 through 12 ELA curriculum adoptions. Commissioners provided feedback and posed questions regarding curriculum comparisons, professional development plans, and associated costs. The full presentation is available on Board Docs. Dr. Ramos also shared the 7th through 12th third marking period data. Commissioners inquired about strategies for supporting students and the mechanisms for sharing best practices across schools. The full presentation is also available on Board Docs. Lastly, the quarterly receivership report is now posted on Board Docs. In addition to that, the attendance data, which was not initially included in the meeting, has since been uploaded and is now available for your review. This meeting was on Tuesday, May 13th, for when you go to Board Docs under the ESA committee meeting. Our next and our final meeting is Tuesday, June 10th, 2025, where we will end and sunset the ESA committee with some final presentations from our administration. I'd also like to finish off by giving a shout out to some of our past chairs, including Commissioner Simmons, President Simmons now, Commissioner Elliott, Commissioner Shepard, and I believe that's the last few that I have in the history right now. But I would like to give a shout out to those commissioners who chaired this committee as this committee is preparing to come to a close on Tuesday, June 10th, 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Santiago. At this time, we're going to move into the May reports for the fiscal year 2024-25 unaudited. And I'm going to ask that our Acting Chief Financial Officer, Derek Blair, join us with that report. Thank you.
Good evening, Vice President Malloy, President Simmons, board members, and viewing public. I attached the Rochester City School District unaudited financial reports for period ending April 30th, 2025. Our cash flow balance and general ledger summary can be found on pages 6 through 8. The district's cash flow position is strong, with a 4/30 ending cash balance of $535,281,000. Pages 9 through 10 include our revenue summary. The general fund estimate has increased by $343,000, mostly due to Medicaid reimbursement of $103,000 and prior year refunds of $235,000. The school food service fund revenue projection has not changed. Special aid increased by $700,000 due to 2 new SIG grants, as listed below. And our current projected revenue summary can be found in the table below. Appropriations by function can be found on pages 11 through 14. We currently have $204,346,000, or 22% of the general fund available in appropriations. $35,799,000, or 26% available in special aid, and $5,561,000, or 21% of the overall school food service available in appropriations. All of our budget journal entries can be found on pages 15 through 25 for your review. capital project budget status reports can be found on pages 26 through 36. Capital summary is in the table below. The major changes in activity for capital funds include a $2,934,000 transfer from contingency for some various SED construction projects, a return to contingency of $400,000 for School 52 project, and $265,000 transfer for equipment purchases for capital improvements. Our charter school enrollment can be seen on page 37. We estimate an increase of 615 enrolled students in charter schools increased this year. Our third quarter student activity funds report can be found on pages 38 through 41. And I included a current schedule of the Oracle software transition. As of right now, ERP is finishing up user acceptance testing. That's scheduled to end tomorrow. All defects should be resolved by the end of the month. And this concludes the financial reports for period ending April 30th.
Thank you, Mr. Blair. I want to open the dais for any questions, concerns around the financial information that was provided just now. Okay. With none, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the unaudited May 2025 financial report at this time.
Motion.
A motion by Commissioner Santiago, seconded by Commissioner Griffin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're moving on to the President's report. I'm going to issue a verbal report at this particular time. Actually, it's more of a verbal expressions, and I'm going to take this time to exercise that right. And this is to my board colleagues. I issue these expressions with respect but great concern, and I feel that it is important that I acknowledge it. So I'll read this to you. Dear board colleagues, as I enter my fourth month as board president, I write to express deep concern about the patterns of behavior that reflect negatively on the integrity and effectiveness of our board as the governing body of the Rochester City School District. While the history of dysfunction with the Rochester Board of Education is longstanding, it is unacceptable for such dysfunction to become normalized. This behavior directly undermines the oath each of us took upon election to faithfully discharge our duties in the best interest of our students and in alignment with New York State education law. Given the persistent challenges facing our district, including historically poor academic outcomes and emerging threats to public education, it is imperative that we reflect critically and ask ourselves, are we more committed to disruption and discord or to the academic success and well-being of the thousands of students we serve? As a reminder, we are a compensated elected board, not a volunteer body, and we are held to legal, ethical, and procedural standards. I have noted some of the following concerns to be more explicit, and these concerns must be addressed. And as I address my colleagues, I am addressing myself within these concerns. Our board meeting attendance, chronic lateness, early departures, and failure to communicate absences through appropriate channels, misuse of video conferencing provisions outlined in our bylaws is also occurring. Our board meeting conduct, actions leading to loss of quorum, leaving the dais during meetings to engage with staff or guests during official sessions, disparagement of colleagues, and the use of profanity. Neglect of duties, refusal to participate in core responsibilities such as superintendent selection, budget oversight, and policy review. Lack of preparation and reading of materials prior to board meetings. Communication protocols, repeated failure to adhere to formally adopted protocols governing communication between board staff, the superintendent, and district administration. To move forward, I am developing public systems of accountability to support a shift toward more effective governance, and I ask each of you to join me in this. I ask each of you to help me review the following foundational documents to guide our board modification efforts in reshaping the culture and conduct of this board. Some of the items, and I will make sure that all commissioners have a copy of this, and I will upload this to board docs. The Board of Education Essential Documents Notebook, the Board of Education Bylaws and Related Policies, Board of Education Handbook, our district academic plan, and our student code of conduct. Our focus must be clear: strong board governance, improved student outcomes, and the restoration of public trust in our leadership. I urge each of you to recommit to these shared goals as we work to build a more accountable and student-centered future for our district. And again, as many of you have heard me say, as I point fingers, or as any of us point fingers, we always have a thumb pointing back at ourselves. So I'm including myself in this. We've got to get it together. We talk big stuff, but now we need to really show where our hearts are, where our minds are, and where our loyalties lie by the people who have put us in office. This is not a right, this is a privilege. I don't know about you, but I'm honored to be here.
Thank you.
That concludes my report at this time. And I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to ask that Interim Superintendent Strickland share his.
So it's going to be shared by Deputy Turner.
Thank you. Good evening, board commissioners, families, students, and the Rochester community. I am presenting the superintendent report on behalf of our interim superintendent, Dr. Strickland. There are no new updates this month for our already data for priorities 1A, 1B, and 1C. And the most recent iReady assessment window will start May 12th and go until June 16th. In addition, our data for priority 1, students on track to earn 5 or more credits, has gone up since the last report to you. Last month, the percentage was 63.3, and now it stands at 65.5 after marking period 3. As for data in priorities 2B and 2C, priority 2B, reducing out-of-school suspension, our goal is to bring suspension below 8.5 by 2028. As of May 15th, we are at 9.3, which is slightly up from the 8.5 from last month. Also, priorities 2C, lowering chronic absenteeism by 25% by 2028. Chronic absenteeism has increased since last month, and as of May 15th, grades 1 through 8, 60.9%, which is up from 54.5 in April. High school, 57.6, down from 68.5 in April. So we just want to remind everyone that June 10th is designated as Region Exam Day across all high schools to support our student success. Students scheduled for biology and/or earth, space, science will participate accordingly. Those not testing may still attend school and take part in some meaningful academic opportunities, such as marking period recovery, Regents Prep, online credit recovery, and targeted tutoring. June 11th is a regular school day. All secondary students are expected to attend school on June 11th and follow their normal schedule. Those students taking the new geometry Regents exam that morning will join their regular class once they have completed the exam. We are excited to begin countdown to graduation. Every year, we are so excited about our graduating seniors. And earlier this month, we launched our Countdown to Graduation video series. Hopefully, you've had a chance to see those. These short stories showcase one graduating senior from each of our high schools. These videos offer a unique insight into the personal experience and journey of our remarkable students, where they talk about their time in school and how it has influenced their aspiration and shaped their plans for the future. I encourage you all to keep an eye out for these inspiring videos. Congratulations to all our seniors. On that same note, to our graduating class of 2025, you are on the brink of a major achievement. We are filled with great pride thinking about our seniors holding their diplomas and making those moves to college or a career in the very near future. We'd like to extend our heartfelt congratulations to the class of 2025, and the superintendent would like to personally thank and express his gratitude to the families, parents, teachers, and staff who have played a vital role in making this occasion possible. If you're looking for a list of graduation dates across the district, please visit our website. For the 7th year in a row, Rochester City School District has been chosen one of the best communities for music education, a designation that comes from the National Association of Music Merchants Foundation. We have been honored for our outstanding commitment to music education. So really proud of that. Also, students from each Rochester high school joined their peers from across Monroe County to celebrate outstanding seniors at the Michael C. O'Lafton Recognition Dinner. We are proud to have 11 outstanding seniors from RCSD who were recognized for their hard work and achievement at this year's dinner that was held in Spencerport. 8 outstanding young men were in Albany from Rochester City School District this month to proudly represent us at the New York State My Brother's Keeper Symposium. This annual event hosted by the New York State Education Department brings students together, educators and leaders to advance the My Brother's Keeper mission of helping boys and young men of color and all students achieve their full potential. Our MBK fellows played a key leadership role throughout the day, serving on panels, delivering personal speeches, and engaging in debates. Their voice was central to the day's work. We'd like to congratulate the 25-26 selected fellows who were also inducted at that symposium. National Bike to School Day. Students and parents from School 23 took the classroom to the community for National Bike to School Day on Wednesday, May 7th. Eager bike riders started their route from Rochester Museum and Science Center and Cobbs Hill Park and ended at School 23, where they were treated to snacks. National Bike to School Day is an excellent opportunity for schools throughout the nation to come together, celebrate National Bike Month to build awareness of the benefit of bike riding. We would like to congratulate 4 of our students who were recognized this month for Do the Right Thing Award for their positive behavior, accomplishments, and great deeds. These students were recognized as leaders and role models for their compassion, courage, and in one case, helping a lost child by calling 911 and staying with him until help arrived. Congratulations to all of those for their well-deserved awards. Golden Apple Award, thank you, was presented to Stacy, the Golden Apple Award was presented to 2 of our teachers from News 8. Both teachers are at Dr. David and Ruth Anderson Academy School 16. They were nominated by parents of their twin boys in their classes. Between the 2 of them, they have been teaching for more than 50 years. The mom said that the 2 teachers made her first grade boys not only love school, but have given them a platform to showcase their talents and abilities. The superintendent had the honor of celebrating this year's Career and Teaching Intern of the Year. 8 outstanding new educators were recognized for their growth, impact, and commitment to students. The Career and Teaching program continues to strengthen our workforce through high-quality mentoring and teacher leadership. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we are honored to be highlighted in the statewide for our work to promote child mental health. Crystal Clark, our Executive Director of Student Support Services, presented as part of the What's Great in Our State celebration, an annual event where she presented on the Village Approach, developed in partnership with the University of Rochester Medical Center to redefine how schools support the needs of students. We are proud to lead the way in rethinking how schools can support academic, personal, and social, emotional needs of all students. Thank you for your attention. That is the report from our interim superintendent, Dr. Strickland.
Thank you, Deputy Turner. I do want to take a moment to just acknowledge and applaud all of the young scholars who were awarded here. We saw a number of them come through these slides. There's great things happening in the Rochester City School District, and so I do want to acknowledge all of those celebrations, and including our mental health awareness speaker. And you said that was with the state, correct? To Dr. Clark on that presentation as well. So congratulations to everyone. At this time, are there any questions or statements in regard to the report that came before us this evening? Commissioner Santiago?
No, I just want to double back on the congratulations for the students. And then I also want to give a shout out to Crystal Clark. I was in Albany, and I just want to say she's showing up for the RCSD and the mental health spaces. So I was at the NAMI convention when she gave her presentation there. So I just want to give her a shout out and encouragement to the awesome work that she's doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Santiago. I'm limited in sight this evening. I don't even have my glasses with me, but I want to make sure I don't miss any hands online if there are any comments that need to be rendered. No hands. Okay, awesome. Any other comments? Commissioner Griffin?
Yes, I just want to echo Walter Cooper School number 16, something that also happened there.
Oh, Dr. David and Ruth Anderson.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize for that. Yes, but I also want to echo some things about 16 school that are not noted on there. I don't know if the interim superintendent was aware, but I do want to acknowledge the fact. I don't know. I do want to acknowledge the fact that they had a
Try
mother
muting
and
that.
son dance that happened a couple of weeks ago, and it was well attended by the mothers and the sons, and even some grandmothers. I will actually have some pictures for you guys to show. I took a ton of pictures that I want to provide for the district because it was a well put together event by Ernestine Brown from 16 School. And I would actually share those with Dr. Strickland as well so that he can upload them so you guys can see exactly what they're doing over at the school. It was a phenomenal event. They had dinner served, they danced with their parents. And it was overwhelming. The one parent even said that, this was her prom because she's never able to go to her prom with her son. So those are some of the things that are happening in the district at a positive note with our children and with people like Ernestine Brown. And as a community liaison, she is a phenomenal person that works with our children, has been in the district for, I want to say, 30 years. So yes, I just wanted to send that shout out to 16 School and recognize her as well. And again, I'll forward that information over to Dr. Strickland. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Griffin. With no further comments, we will move forward on the agenda this evening. And Superintendent Dr. Marlene Blocker is joining us, and she will be providing her report at this time.
Good evening, President Simmons, Vice President Malloy, and Commissioners and the Rochester community. This is the presentation for East for the month of May. Sonography and anatomy and physiology, our scholars studied the male and female reproductive system, including structures, functions, and embryonic development. As a hands-on extension, Rochester Institute of Technology professors came to East to teach them how to perform an ultrasound. We had several scholars that participated in the RGRTA internships. They had an opportunity to work on data analysis through computer systems. They thoroughly enjoyed their time there, and we're proud that RGRTA continues to support students in the Rochester City School District. It was a pleasure to see RCSD scholars recognized as outstanding seniors and recipients of the Michael C. O'Laughlin Awards for both leadership and scholarship. Congratulations to East's Jessica Conroe and to all RCSD seniors that were recognized. East seniors participated in Decision Day on May 15th. It was a great chance for scholars to see who was going to which college and how many different colleges were represented. This is just a showcase of some of our administrators with our scholars, and you can see the pride they each have reflected on their faces. East seniors that are leaving with CTE designation did capstone projects. They had the opportunity to reflect on their 4 years in the program and share highlights and impact moments. They were incredibly articulate and appreciative of the opportunities they had while at East. They will be recognized with that distinction at graduation. And then last, our April data to share. The areas in yellow, our lower school suspensions are at 46 out of school and upper school 47. 57.2% lower school have been chronically absent. 58.7% of upper school have been chronically absent. Our lower school daily attendance hovers at 82.9%. And our upper school at 79.3%. As I've shared in the past, we have had 17 scholars graduate already at this point, and 23 scholars have dropped out. That concludes the East April report in the May board meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Blocker. I'm going to open the dais at this time for any questions or comments regarding the report. Vice President Malloy.
Thank you. Dr. Blocker, thank you so much for your presentation this evening. And I just want to tell you how much I appreciate the monthly reports on absenteeism information, as well as just all of the academic information that you provide month after month as we try to reach those board goals. So thank you very much. It's very helpful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Malloy. Any other statements? Commissioner Patterson?
Yes.
Oh,
No, just thank you both for your reports. I appreciate it.
thank you. Thank you. I thank you, Commissioner Santiago. Commissioner Elliott?
Just a question to both superintendents. When is the next report for the East transition?
I provided a report last month. We've only had 3 weeks since our last meeting, so there were no new updates to provide as far as recommendations made.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anything specific we could answer?
Well, I've been sort of out of the loop for a little bit, and so I don't know where we stand with the transition. Are we on track with it?
I think we're fantastically on track with what's happening. The communication between myself and Superintendent Blocker is next to none. She knows she can text, call, late, weekends, it doesn't matter. But nonetheless, we just actually had a core transition team meeting on Monday where we were able to check a number of items off to green. One of the other pieces that we wanted to be sure to do is that we maintain the integrity of the program that East has built. And now we are in the phases of looking at curriculum. We have a schedule that is well planned. It involves East stakeholders, district stakeholders. The district is grasping some of the things that East are doing. We are grasping, they are grasping some of the things that we are doing, and it's actually going really well. We have a new item to contend with, but that'll be at another time, for the board and exec session, probably in the month of June.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, any other questions or statements? With none other there, thank you, Dr. Blocker, again for your presentation. This evening, we're going to move forward into our academic resolutions. I'd like to entertain a motion to bundle
Second.
the resolutions. Motion by Commissioner Patterson, seconded by Vice President Malloy. All in favor of bundling the resolutions at this time, academic resolutions? Okay, any opposed?
No.
Okay. Okay, so the motion carries, the resolutions are now bundled. And so at this time, I'm going to open the floor for any questions regarding the academic resolutions. And to be clear, did I need to, I said it was academic, and to be clear for our viewing public, those resolutions include Resolution 670 to 687, also including an amendment of Resolution 308 in this bundle that we just did. Opening the dais for any questions or comments. And Commissioner Griffin, did I see your hand? Did you? No, nothing for that. Any questions or concerns from anyone? Let me make sure this is not in my notes. I don't have any for this particular thing. With no questions or statements for these resolutions, all in favor of resolutions, 670 through 687, including Resolution 308?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving into the administrative supports resolutions, those are resolutions 688 through, resolution 713. I'd like to entertain a motion to bundle resolutions 688 through 716 at this time, 713 at this time. Moved by Vice President Malloy, seconded by Commissioner Patterson. All in favor of bundling this group of resolutions, 688 through 713?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Dais is open for comments or questions on this bundle of resolutions. I'll start with you, Commissioner Santiago.
Thank you. I have a question about resolutions 690, 661, and 662. This is around transportation. Is this for over the summer? I see, contract extension for first student, but then I see, agreement amendment for Ontario and Monroe school transportation. So if we could just get an explanation on what's going on with transportation in these resolutions. And also, I know around budget time, there were conversations, I just want to bring it back up, about the possibilities of having contact and communications with our parents about the time that their bus will be home or the bus will be coming to pick up their students. Now, that's totally separate, but I just want to reiterate that.
Chief Scott is coming to answer some of those questions.
Thank you.
Yes, good evening. The resolution is actually for this summer and also for next school year. Those are all of our vendors that that provide transportation for our district.
Yeah. So if we're talking about going back into a contract for the upcoming school year, have there been conversations about getting this service out to our parents and our students about keeping them updated about the time of arrival of their student's bus? I think it's helpful for our parents, and it's definitely something that I've heard from a lot of our parents. Maybe not specifically around the app, but it's an issue that all of our parents are having between not knowing when the bus is coming, what time the bus is coming. And I know the children's agenda, when I met with them, that's one thing that they advocated about also. But I think it would be helpful towards this district if we had some sort of communication, whether it's an app, whether it's a text chain, whatever it is, to update our parents and community and caregivers on when the bus will be arriving.
There is currently robocalls that do go out. I do know there is an app that one of our vendors uses, but due to the fact that particular app is just for that particular vendor, we have been in discussions with like IM&T in our district to see if there's something else that we can possibly provide across the board. So we are in kind of discussion in regards to that right now for the next school year.
Yeah, and just as, just a little bit of pushback or a little bit of criticism, I'll say also with these bus companies that we contract with, many times there are, things in the contract that's not fully, met. There's late buses, for our students on a constant basis. And so I think that there should be conversations with these bus companies that we're paying, on a high level, about how together, we can come up with a solution for our parents. And that's just a comment.
Thank
but
you.
I appreciate that. And then lastly, for Resolution 711, I just want to give a big shout out to Deputy Superintendent Ruth Turner, who will be leaving the district July 1st, going over to Montclair, New Jersey as a superintendent. Deputy Superintendent Turner has been a staple not just in this community, but also in the state, formerly serving as a regent inside of our Board of Regents, and here in this district, fighting for student empowerment, mental health, restorative practices, social emotional support, and teacher professional development, and just has been a staple in this district. And so I just want to take this moment to give a big shout out to our Deputy Superintendent, who will soon be the superintendent in Montclair, New Jersey. Thank you so much for your service. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Santiago. Dr. Scott, come on back up, because actually I had some questions around the same things, but I think Commissioner Santiago really touched on the transportation pieces, 690, 91, and 93, or sorry, 92. 93 was for BOCES, but I did want to ask if, because I see that these are tied to our actual goal of absenteeism, chronic absenteeism. And so some of the points that were already brought up, meaning our buses getting students to school and they're missing maybe the first and even second period at times, and that's not necessarily helping, excuse me, I think I'm exhausted, the rates in school and class time or what have you. And I also recognize that we've had bus drivers shortage. Do we have a pulse on where we are with our influx of bus drivers at this time?
Yeah, well, I could say I know it's an ongoing piece that our district is dealing with, but certainly not one that only our district is dealing with. It is a global issue. Unfortunately, we are trying our best. All of our vendors are trying. I will put a ploy out there right now for our listening audience that we need bus drivers. We need bodies to transport our babies, and it's not even the fact of the volume of, it's just not our district that we're providing transportation for. We're also all of our charter schools, our parochial schools as well, urban, suburban. We are at a deficit, unfortunately, when it comes to bus drivers. So we're trying our best to just get the word out, but certainly we need bus drivers. I mean, that is one of the major pieces. Of course, we're looking at routes weekly and combining routes where we see there's a low attendance on the buses as much and as best as we can. But certainly, it's not anything where we're not trying. That's certainly not it. But we do need bus drivers.
Okay.
And we've had conversations with just other districts as well who are also dealing with the same exact issue. Not anything that we're not going to stop doing. We're going to constantly just kind of look to see. We're looking at routes and things of that nature. But
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so it sounds like some opportunities for creative options and things of that nature. So we'll have additional conversation, I'm sure. But yeah, I did want to get a pulse on that, and I do appreciate your, thank you for your response. I'm going to move on down to Commissioner Griffin, and then I'll move into, who was first? Because y'all looking at me. You want to go first, Commissioner Patterson? Go ahead, Commissioner Griffin.
Mr. Scott, Dr. Scott, Mr. Scott, can you come back for a second, please? I just wanted to ask a question. You may not be able to answer this, but, and it may be something that we can look into. Have we surveyed the parents to see if the time of the start of school days are being affected by the late attendance by the buses, by the kids not being at school at the appropriate times? Is that an issue? Because why I say that is this for this reason. I've heard feedback on the school start times are bad for some parents. So have you heard that that is an issue? Have you heard of anything like that? Because I know I have heard about school start times. So have we had a survey out there with the different schools to say, hey, you know, if we had a different start time, then it would be conducive to the parents or to the parents or the bus drivers. Have we had any of that? Have we did any surveys like that?
I'm not exactly sure if there's been any surveys, but we haven't necessarily heard that the start times are an issue. It's just the fact that sometimes we have bus drivers who unfortunately call in at the last minute or not available. But we haven't heard from parents that the actual start times are quote unquote bad.
Well, the reason why I say that is, and you may not have heard, but I have heard of that. And we have start times, some of the schools at 9 o'clock. I've heard a lot of different pushback against that start time. So I think that may be an issue. That's why I'm saying, maybe we could put a survey out there just to see, you know, how parents would weigh in on that. It's just something that I'm thinking of because I did hear about it.
Yeah, I just want to, you're absolutely right. We have not surveyed our families specifically to the start time. A couple of things are complicated with that is that we'll get a lot of opinions about the start time, but a lot of our school start and end time, that's why we have the tier bus system, is a lot due to being able to ensure that all students get transportation to school. So you'll see some of our school starts at 9, some of them start at 7:30, some of them start at 8. It's a lot of work that Jacob, Mr. Scott and his team go through to try to balance those routes so that we can ensure that we're transporting all of our students and our charter students also. So I think that's a discussion worth having to kind of, you know, just talk about what might be some of the pros and cons and the unintended consequences of doing that. But in all honesty, we've not specifically surveyed our families about district-wide start time. Some schools have with their parents, especially if we tell them we're changing their time, and, you know, to kind of balance it out each year. But as a district, we've not really looked into that. But I think it's a discussion that we could definitely have to see what might be the intent of that and what happens with that information, because so much of that is out of our control.
Right.
In terms of how many drivers we have, you know, balancing out all the individuals we have to transport, not just our students who attend our schools, but private parochial, you know, our charter schools, our urban, suburban, and so forth.
Okay, and to your point, so there is no current data that shows any start times that have been scattered over the years? What is higher levels at what time versus the other? Because that would be interesting for myself to see how over the years, since we've changed the time, what is more feasible? Where do we see the highs and the lows and how we can best accommodate our children to make sure they're getting to school on time? So the data would show that information. So maybe we can get the data together to show from over the last several years with the different time changes, the scattered times, what is the most effective time slots and how we can better manage that. I think we definitely need to get into that because that is where we may have an attendance issue, right? We may be able to stop some of the attendance issues there if we just get that data together and lay it out and say, hey, this is what we see over the years, over this certain time, where the kids are able to attend school, they're getting to school on time by the buses or what have you. So that would be interesting for me to see. So maybe we can look into that, get that data, because data beats documentation beats conversation for me. You know that.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And my last question would be in reference to we have Resolution 695 and 94, and here again, documentation beats conversation. We have West Ed, and we have the school binder teacher boost. Can we elaborate on those two resolutions for me, please? In reference to, I think it's G and H on our resolutions.
Thank you, Commissioner. I can speak to G, which is the school binder, AKA Teach Boost resolution. That's the system by which we it's a web-based system for observations and evaluations of our staff. So that's a system that we need to have.
I'm sorry, I understand what you're saying, so what, can you just elaborate on it just a little bit, maybe for the listening public, of what actually it entails, how does it break down? Because I'm curious of that as well. If you could just give a little bit more insight, that's all I'm saying, thank you.
Sure. So as a requirement through New York State, all educators are to be evaluated, meeting the mandates of the annual professional performance review process. And so that defines that we must evaluate staff, and we must have a system that enables us to store, provide the feedback, score the results, and get an aggregate at the end of the year. And so that process requires us to have a system that can do that, and none of our internal electronic systems do that otherwise. And so Teach Boost is one that provides a good level of support relative to a tool that we can use, but also for data analytics that we can then analyze the feedback that our teachers and principals are receiving, and then use that to inform other things in the organization, such as professional learning.
So, Mr. Miller, this is what we've been using over the years consistently?
We've been using it for the last few years.
Okay.
Compared to other tools that exist out there, we've found some positive benefit with this the last couple of years.
Okay. I think Dr. Strickland was saying actually 3 years it's been used. Is that what you're saying, Dr. Strickland? Just for the listening public, it was 3 years if you didn't see Dr. Strickland. Okay.
Yes,
And-
ma'am,
Go ahead, I'm sorry,
I
Dr.
was just
Strickland.
going to say that's a part of the APPR agreement.
Okay.
That we have an actual portal in which teacher observations and now actually our administrative observations actually go into
Okay.
for us to keep up with, to determine where they fall on the Hetty scale, which would be highly effective, developing, or ineffective. And it's actually good because we can actually keep better records over the years as to whether or not, what the scores have been, to help make us make recommendations on tenure and so on and so forth.
Thank you very much, you two, for that
Absolutely.
information. And then I have the West Ed. Who wants to address that with me?
I can.
Okay.
The West Ed contract is a request for proposal that we put out to bid, and this is funded through our resource allocation grant from the state, in which we are a part of, I think, 10 other school districts that have this grant, and the idea is to really study in terms of equitable budgeting. So that was our task, and West Ed won the bid for this, and they will be providing community and stakeholder engagement. They're going to be helping us understand budget analysis and resource allocation using an equity model. And there's a list of many things that they will be providing for us, co-designing and phase-in revision to our SBB model, our student-based budgeting, training, technical support, things of that sort.
And I guess my last question would be, because this is such this is a big thing. West Ed is really big, and financially, it's fairly the dollar amounts coming from our district. Was any of this ran across the new superintendent, or was this something that was just decided prior? Was he at the table at all? Do we know?
No, this has been a 2-year project with the state way before the superintendent
Okay.
was named. And as you may know, by the time we start this and it makes it to you, we're like 3-4 months
Okay.
before you guys actually get to vote on it.
Okay. And
Is that your last question?
Was that your last question? You said that was your last question. Was that it?
No, hold on
Okay,
one
you
second.
got
I just
one
want
more?
to, I was just going to respond
Okay.
to Deputy Superintendent.
Last
So we did have actually more, it was West Ed, and then it was other people on the contract, well, actually in the, you know the word I'm trying to say.
Grant?
No, it's actually West Ed and other people that had a contract. West Ed actually was the one that won it. Now, my question would,
You're referring to the RFP process?
yeah, but the RP process. So, with that being said, is that information, and correct me if I'm wrong, was any of that information supposed to be viewed by the board, or that's just something that the superintendent does directly? So just for the listening public, so they understand.
Yeah, it's actually conducted by our purchasing department, Doug and his team, who really follow the regulations of what we need to do, and they're usually the ones that will write out, do the bids, review it, and then work with our team to schedule the interview of the different vendors.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Superintendent, Ms. Turner, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Griffin. Commissioner Patterson?
Yes, last but not least, I want the general public to know, I don't ask that many questions because normally I've done my research or I've spoken to either Dr. Strickland or Dr. Rosser prior to the meetings, but tonight they were, or correction, today, early this morning and afternoon, they were both very busy, and neither one of them were able to respond to me. But just so the general public knows, these are some of the resolutions that normally I have answered, by both of them prior to coming to the meetings. But tonight, I'm going to have to ask some of those questions. Some have already been asked and answered by my colleagues, so I can put those aside. So the two that I have remaining deal with Rise Up Rochester. And I'd just like to ask, is there any statistical data? It's 697. Resolution 697. It's toward the back of the pack.
Yep.
But is there any, and again, we can put this in the question log, the response, but is there any statistical data of program success that we can get to us or let us know how that program's doing? It's been around for a while now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so just to make sure that this is a MOA, so this is not a paid contract. They actually have an agreement, sort of a voluntary basis to work with us, serving families impacted by violence. And every single family that they have interacted with, which is providing them support because they've experienced violence and trauma, have been really grateful and speak very well of the services. And this is actually a partnership that I would love for the district to consider that would have more impact on a greater number of our families. So I just wanted to provide that clarity.
So how long have they been in existence? I guess my question is.
I'll put that in the board. I
That's,
don't want to
yeah.
get it wrong.
Well, that's what I'm looking for, really. How many years they've been in existence and
We can get that to
any
you.
statistical data that you can have that says, indicates that they're a successful program. So thank you for that. And the last question is Resolution 696. It deals with the Judicial Process Commission. And it indicates that their evaluation methods consist of quantitative data collection, qualitative data collection, and case management evaluation. Have any of those documents, are they available again to put in the question log as far as response to that information?
Project how?
Talks about the House of David Judicial Process Commission.
Yeah, I'm sorry, what was your question again?
They indicate that the evaluation methods are quantitative data collection, qualitative data collection, and case management evaluation. Is there any data that you can put in the question log to indicate again whether they're successful programs or not?
Yeah, absolutely. After a period of working with them, this is a new
Okay.
MOA with this particular, but we would, after a period of time, at the end of that agreement, be able to provide those evidence.
And when does that agreement end, just so I can make a note of that?
I think, let me, It would be next year this time.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Patterson. I'm going to move up to the Zoom screen. Before doing so, I'm going to finish out here on the dais. I also had a question around Resolution 695. How many reports has West Ed rendered? Because I see the grant ends December of 2025, so this year it should be ending. And I know there was one report released. Where are we with that one? Like, how is that going to be communicated? And then, is it just one other one, or do we?
Yes, correct. There is the part 2 of the position management study with WestEd that should be completed by the end of June.
By the end of June? Okay. And then Resolution 693 regarding the BOCES. I do see that programming with the opportunity to renew up to additional one-year terms for 4 years. And this is discretion, so this is a flexible renewal process is what I'm seeing? Yes. Tell me about that one,
Okay.
693.
I'm sorry, what was your question?
Just, I see that it has 4 opportunities to renew, up to 4 years of renewal, but I also see language around discretion around that renewal.
Yeah, so meaning that we can renew it every year without having to go for another RFP. And those renewals are based on satisfactory of services.
Okay, so we are flexible to go ahead and reconsider if.
We are flexible, but in all honesty, there's not many places that provide that level of nursing and the size of our school district need.
Yes, understood. Thank you very much for that. I'm going to go up to the teams. And Clerk Wheeler, can you confirm the first hand for me? Okay, Commissioner Elliott?
So I have, and I think I may have asked this before, but I'm going to ask it again because since we are fiscal responsible for the dollars that we spend, in a number of the resolutions, there's this term that talks about if the pay rate is stated incorrectly. That gives me concern because we should have the pay rate correct if you're bringing it to this board. So I'm concerned about that language, and I'm talking about 699 through probably 705, where that language is if a pay rate is incorrectly stated. I get suspicious with that kind of language because we have to do our oversight, due diligence about this. And, we're all human. Sometimes we forget to go back and do what needs to be done with these resolutions. So why can't we just have the exact pay on these resolutions without us having to approve this now, and you all go in and may or may not change these? That's my concern.
You have a
Dr.
response?
Miller, are you able to speak to that, or?
I'm sorry, may I have the resolution number?
699 through 705. So in the body of the language, it talks about if the pay rate is incorrectly stated, so forth and so on. I just don't like that language to be in our resolutions.
I'm sorry, I'm not seeing the language you're referencing. Where is that?
It's in the body of the public content section. And then while Dr. Miller's looking for that, I will chime in. So the language goes on to say that if it is incorrect, because there are mistakes, there's raises that take place from June to
Yes.
July. Sometimes a person's position title changes, which might give them a little bit more of an increase, that if we happen to make a mistake, the collective bargaining process will prevail. So whatever they're entitled to be paid, if for some reason we've either made a mistake or there's been a change in their pay rate or position, that will be corrected to reflect that.
Yeah, let me clarify further that language is there because we're in contract negotiations, and we often are, and if there's a change in the rates of pay, then that contractually based rate of pay for the summer work would be updated to reflect that. So we're currently in open negotiations now, and we might anticipate that during the course of the next few months, that might be settled, which would perhaps change the rates of pay, and so the contractual rate would then need to be the rate that people are paid by.
Well, can't you all just come back to us with an amendment to these if there's a change in, is a change in pay rate? Why can't you all just come back to us with an amendment?
And we can consult legal on that. This has been our practice.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Commissioner Elliott. Yeah, so consult legal and let us know what they say, and also, but some form of an update should be provided, but I do like the question she asked, so commit that to the question log if you don't mind capturing that as well, so that we have it captured in both spaces. Thank you. I'm going to move to the next hand on the teams, which would be Commissioner LeBron.
Yeah, I just want to acknowledge and thank Dr. Turner for all of her work in this district. And I want to thank Commissioner Santiago for like uplifting a little a mini bio. But as someone who like has witnessed the impact that Dr. Turner has had in this district, from being a social worker at School 7 to moving on up into central office, to then even moving up into the cabinet level, and then making a commitment to social emotional for every single student in this district and across the board. And I know that nothing's perfect because this community and society is not perfect right now. But I do want to acknowledge that the impact that you have made across this district to colleagues as well is so huge. It's just huge. And the impact and the loss that we're going to have is also going to be huge. And I think there are no shoes that can fill you. And I'm very excited for your new district. And you guys are getting a phenomenal individual who is going to be a rock star superintendent for you all. And it's definitely our loss and your win. But I want to thank you, Dr. Ruth Turner, for just being a phenomenal individual, whether it was here in the district, whatever role or title you had, or whether it was in the state. Just thank you. I love you and I honor you. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner LeBron. Are there any other statements or questions regarding this
Yes.
resolution area?
Yes.
Okay, Commissioner Elliott?
So go ahead, Dr. Strickland.
No, just, I'll defer to you, and then I just wanted to end the segment with a statement and a comment about the amendments.
All right, thank you. So I I mean, I just missed that whole thing to congratulate our deputy superintendent. I do apologize for that. Words can't describe my thoughts of you and the work that you've done on behalf of our children. Everybody knows that number one for me is our children in this district. And, we are sort of the same spirit. You're doing it from an administrative piece. I'm doing it from a governance piece, and all for our children. And I thought we were onto something here in this district for a minute. But now the players are changing now. While I hope it will continue, I know that your school district in New Jersey will be honored, will have you as a great asset. You're a hard worker, very, very bright, very smart. I think, it's our loss, but your new school district's gain. And I just want to, congratulate you. Thank you for all that you've done and all the hours that you put into this work. It's so appreciated. And I thank you so much. And I thank you that I can call you my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Elliott. Were there any other statements or comments?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes, President.
Okay.
Yes,
Strickland.
President Simmons, I just wanted to alert the commissioners and also for the viewing public. If you see, for instance, resolution number 713, those are amendments to resolutions that have been passed that we are required to actually resubmit to board in the event that things change. So if the contract, goes through or rates change, even if it increases or decreases, we have to actually put forth those amendments to ensure that you are aware of what actually went forth. So I wanted to make sure that we are extremely transparent in that regard. And then last but not least, I'm going to take this opportunity to take some privilege and just thank my colleague, Deputy Ruth Turner. She's been a steadfast warrior for me. She's on the SEL side. I'm on the teaching and learning side. I had to learn a little bit about, ensuring that teaching and excuse me, SEL needs to be in place in order for teaching and learning to actually really happen and vice versa. But I am certainly going to miss our interactions on a day-to-day basis. And I definitely wish her nothing but true success. She's going to be fantastic, and she will always have me as a thought partner, as well as the individuals on our cabinet, this Board of Education, and all of our mutual friends and counterparts. But thank you so much for giving me that opportunity, President.
Thank you, Dr. Strickland. And so I wanted to save those acknowledgments for last, but I started out, and so it all got out there. And wait a minute. Are you going to be here for the next board meeting, Dr. Strickland?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
I will
Are
be
you
here
going to be here for the next
for.
board meeting? Because you got her up here
Yes.
crying. She will not be here.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I will be. I will be at the next ESA meeting. I apologize. I am out of district at this point, and I will be at the last board meeting as well. So
Wonderful,
yeah,
wonderful.
I'm not gone yet.
Okay, y'all saying these beautiful farewells, and definitely don't want to not acknowledge work, but not just work, but hard work. And hard work shows up with heart and passion. Hard work may not always get you liked, loved, but it just shows up. It may be misunderstood, and it may be understood, and it comes with all of the things that it brings. But when you lead with your heart and you lead with your passion and you're dedicated to the work, it doesn't even matter. So I do want to acknowledge both of you in this moment. And, when I heard you talking, Dr. Strickland, I said, oh, they done found their yin and the yang. That's what I'm hearing there. But I do want to acknowledge that and thank you so very much. And we're not going to let y'all sit up here in this district and not acknowledge you formally after this evening as well. So I'll just leave that there. Thank you for all the sentiments expressed. And I don't want to lose it. We still got to vote on these resolutions, don't we? Yep. Okay, so let me do this. Some of y'all don't want us to, but we got to do it. Administrative support resolutions 688 through 713 is where we were, right? All in favor of resolution 688 through 713?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Yes, 691, 699 through 705.
Were you able to capture that? Can you say that one more time? You kind of went out a little bit. Say one more time, Commissioner Elliott. 691.
691, 699 through 705.
Did you capture that? Okay, thank you. It's captured.
President.
Yes.
I apologize. I just have one more additional acknowledgement. This is, in fact, Chief of Staff Evans' last meeting.
Oh, gosh.
Us. And it would behoove me to not mention that, my other right hand, my sister, my confidant, my biggest, one of my biggest cheerleaders is in fact joining a different district. And I am extremely pleased of her as well. And I just honestly wish her the best. And I know people are like, all this sappiness, but you know what? Give flowers where flowers are due. And at the end of the day, there's a tumultuous impact that has been made on her behalf in the schools, as a teacher, principal, and as a chief of staff. So with that being said, again, wishing you the best, Chief Evans, with all my heart.
Thank you, Dr. Strickland.
I'm sorry.
I had moved you in my mind to the next meeting, so I was like, she gonna still be here. I would like you to just take a moment because we're gonna open up the dais. So I don't know if do you need tissue because they're gonna have something to say. But did you have anything that you would like to express at this particular time?
Keep it short.
You said be short. You know, I'm a person of short words. I don't talk long. Just joking. But of course, I want to say thank you for welcoming back in the district when I took a little hiatus. With challenges comes greatness. So thank you all. Wish me luck. I'm going to reach out whenever I need help, assistance, need a prayer, need a song. But my heart lives with RCSD. Born and raised, went through the schools in RCSD. But right now, the journey is now taking me 6 miles away about. So, but thank you.
All right, I was gonna say something. I was gonna say give them hell, but no, just give them your power and appreciating your service here with the district. I want to open the days. Did anyone have comments they want to express?
Yes, can I have some Mike and Ike's sour watermelon? I'll see you around. Congratulations, Chief Evans.
Also, I see that there are hands up front, and go ahead, give me the first person. Commissioner Elliott.
So if we can give Deputy Superintendent an opportunity to share, like we did with the chief, I would welcome that.
Yes, I'm
First
going
of
to do
all.
that before we close out, but I want every commissioner to be able to express any expressions they have for Chief Evans, and then before I close out, we'll allow for that as well.
So let me just say, I almost helped raise LaShara. I go back with her dad years and years ago. We worked with her dad and the great work that her dad and mom did in this community. And so it's not surprising that they would, the chief, as well as her brother, who's our mayor, would grow up and do great things within this community. They were brought up that way. That was in their DNA. And so I know without hesitation or reservation that Chief Evans will do very well in her new assignment. It is amazing just how fast that while there are these changes, everyone is in great positions. And so, you know, it has been a benefit for you all to be here in Rochester and to take that information, take your skill set now to other places. And so just love you. Chief Evans, always have loved you. And, you know, I know, you know, your family well, as you know, I know. And, you know, I don't have any doubt that you will be an asset to your next endeavor. Congratulations.
Thank you, Commissioner Elliott. Commissioner LeBron.
Thank you. Contrary to what that particular doggy individual on social media had to say, I just want to point out that I would have loved for you to stay, but I am, again, so sad to see you go. But I know that you're also going to be a rock star for this district 6 miles away. You're still going to be a part of this city and this community, obviously, always and forever. But I just want to point out to Cynthia, to Commissioner Elliott's point, right? How quickly districts came and snatched you up because they saw the greatness. And it's heartbreaking for me that we didn't get to keep you all here to continue the great work that you were doing. And, you know, I think one day we'll get to have a full conversation about how ripple, choices make impacts and what that looks like at the end of the day for us. But I love you too, Evans, and I would just want you to know, I was gonna say LaShari, I was gonna call you Shari, but I'm gonna keep it all the way real. I just want you to know I think you are one of the most amazing people, and I hate that people in this community sometimes don't get to see your greatness because you're overshadowed because your brother's the mayor. And yes, that's great. And your parents did a wonderful job, but you are an amazing educator, and in this space, you are a rock star. And I just need this community to understand the caliber of a rock star that you are in your own rights, that you have earned this space, that you've been here before Malik was ever on the school board. I have to point this out. Shari was in education. She had her master's. She was already doing her thing. And she has worked her way up as well through hard work, dedication, commitment, and lots of tears behind the scenes that people don't even get to see because she cares about our community and our kids. And so, yes, to the district that's getting you, you're getting a phenomenal rock star, human being, and educator that I know is going to support you during a time of need right now in this country. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner LeBron. And so again, I'm allowing for this to take place. I know this is a meeting, and I know we are priding ourselves on trying to get out of these meetings sooner than later. But I also want to recognize that transition happens, and then when there's a human piece to transition, there's a human piece to all of these things, and sometimes you just have to show up human. So that's what I'm attempting to do this evening, right? And Deputy Turner will not be at our last meeting, so I do want to extend the opportunity for you to share words, and then State Monitor, I'm going to end with you after Deputy Turner. But I would like, actually, do you want to say something now, and then how are we going to do this?
Thank you, President Simmons. I have been working in the district for almost 3 years, and the first 6 months they were not here, but they came in February, and they brought new light to the district, a new commitment to the district. And even though that we talk a lot about what is happening in the district, their goal was to improve student achievement, to make sure that the kids were in school, both ends. I have had the opportunity to work very closely with Chief of Staff Evans and making sure that those reports are done in a way that it was responsive to the needs of the state, and Deputy Turner for questioning and always advocating for the students in the Rochester City School District. I know they're leaving, but they're leaving the footprint in the district, and we must continue to move forward on behalf of the students in the Rochester City School District. I wish them the best. They will do the best, and wherever they go, they're still gonna say Rochester City School District.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to do this quickly so I don't cry, I guess. Wow. All right, so thank you. I've had the pleasure of serving this district almost my entire professional life. I work with some great, amazing, talented folks that I'm going to miss greatly. I'm thankful for a new beginning. Unlike Lashara, I will be over 300 miles away, but I'm only a phone call away. I wish nothing but success for the district, and this is my second time saying goodbye. I would try to make it my final time saying goodbye. But again, I've just been privileged and honored to work with and serve just amazing students and families. And it's bittersweet, but I'm really excited about the path that's ahead. And again, I will do whatever I can, whether I'm here or not, to support the success of this district. So again, thank you for this wonderful opportunity. And thank you for Carmine being insistent with me to convince me to come back. I don't regret coming back. and being able to continue the amazing work that we've started. And now it's on to everybody else here to continue that and to do even greater. So again, thank you for the privilege and honor.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, we're going to speed forward through the remainder of this meeting, and we are going to look at our summer school resolutions.
I'm sorry, I think we still have to vote on this one.
No, we
did
have to
vote on
vote for that one. We did 688 through 713.
Thank you. So we're going to move forward to the summer school resolutions, entertaining a motion to bundle 714 through 716. Can I include 717 in that too?
I'm sorry, we were all just giving remarks to a resolution that Dr. Turner is on. We did not end that vote. Are you telling, Ernest, are you saying we voted on that?
Yes.
Can you go on the mic and help Commissioner LeBron?
I have, this is the bundle in which Commissioner Elliott had no to 691, 699 through 705, and then everyone else was yes.
Okay, all right, I must have missed that, thank you.
Okay, so moving forward to the summer school resolutions, entertaining a motion to bundle 714 through 716. And my question on the table was, can I bundle 717 with that as well?
No.
Nope, okay, so just entertaining a motion for 714 through 716, bundling those.
Motion.
Vice President Malloy, seconded by Commissioner Patterson. All in favor?
Aye.
Motions are bundled. Opening the floor for Resolution 714 through 716 for discussion at this time.
I believe you need to take 717. Wasn't there a desire to pull?
Oh, you know what?
But we're not doing that right now.
That was the next one, because you just bundled 714 through 716, which we've just done. And the reason why you couldn't bundle 717 is because my understanding is they wanted to pull it.
So, thank you for bringing that to my attention. That's is that an amendment? Yes, well,
You haven't finished with 716.
no, so 717 is something that we're going to be pulling, but the others are on the table for voting. They're not, 717 doesn't directly interact with any of those. So, without any discussion, and I want to make sure I'm correct, there's no discussion on 714 through 716? With no discussion, all in favor of Resolution 714 through 716?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And thank you, Anissa, I do see what you're speaking about. With the 717, right, I wanted to bundle that, but there was no reason to bundle it because that resolution is being rescinded. Is that the correct term I want to use? And so entertaining a motion, I would say to rescind Resolution 717 at this time.
Motion
Motion.
to pull.
Pull,
I
to pull it.
motion to pull Resolution 717.
Thank you, thank you. Motion by Commissioner Santiago, seconded by Vice President Malloy, and all in favor
Aye.
of pulling Resolution 717?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries, 717 is pulled, thank you. And we are now entering our unfinished business portion of the meeting. I'm going to turn the mic over to Commissioner Griffin to provide those readings, second readings for us.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam President Simmons. The following proposed policy items are slated for second reading for tonight. That's policy 0115, 1900, 4000, 4100, 4311.1, 4314.3 through 4327, 4710, 5405, 6700 through 6745, 8113, and 9520.6. The full title of these policies can be found in section 16A of tonight's agenda and in board docs. Is there any discussions on the above named policies? No discussions? Okay. Okay, because certain committees have discontinued the language of policies 1210 and 1400, both currently in the second readings, needs to be updated. As we route, the following policy changes are being proposed. We have a second reading for school-based planning, 1210, motion to accept the revised policy language as outlined in the attached addendum, highlighted in yellow for policies 1210, school-based planning. Can I get a motion to accept the revised policy language as outlined in the attached addendum, highlighted in yellow for policy 1210, school-based planning?
So moved.
Have a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Patterson. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We have a second reading for Code of Conduct 1400. Motion to accept the revised policy language as outlined in the attached addendum, highlighted in blue for the policy 1400 Code of Conduct. Can I get a motion to accept the revised policy language as outlined in the attached addendum, highlighted in blue for policy 1400 Code of Conduct? Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And rescinding policy, second reading. The following proposed policy items are slated for second readings tonight with the recommendations of rescissions. Policies 4311.2, 4314.2. The full title of these policies can be found in section 16D of tonight's agenda on board docs. Is any questions needed for any of the named policies? Okay, thank you. President Simmons or Vice President Malloy, that concludes the review of our policies for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Griffin. We're going to move down to new business. And we're looking at the board calendar. There was an amendment to the 25-26 board calendar. You can track changes, and it will show the amendments that were made. Those being the July 2025 business meeting, moving from July 24th to the 31st. There's also been an amendment to the calendar for the board from September 2025 for a board retreat on September 10th, scheduled to take place. You'll also notice that the board business meetings are highlighted at 6:00 p.m. versus 6:30 p.m. for New Start time. And lastly, there is an amendment to the November 2025 date for November 4th work session. So those are some of the track changes that I am looking at. Were there any questions around the amendments, concerns? Okay, thank you. Dr. Strickland?
Yes, really quick, I just wanted to take the time and opportunity to mention to all the commissioners on the dais and on the Zoom that I did have the opportunity to present to our state NICED folks, and we were commended for the amount of academics that we are bringing up in our meetings, even though we're not where we need to be. I did want to take the time and opportunity to express to you all that you continue to be on the right track in terms of really talking about student achievement in these meetings. Our state monitor can attest that someone behind the curtain in our Zoom did actually say that, and that this calendar, the work sessions, will give a proper cadence as to how information is provided to you from the administration to the district regarding academics and the operations. So just wanted to take that opportunity and give you all that applause because it is definitely needed. And I want to thank you for the journey that we've all been on in that regard.
Thank you, Dr. Strickland. We are all better for it. Thank you very much. Were there any other questions or statements around this calendar? Thank you very much. Are we voting on this calendar? All in favor? Well, entertaining a motion to adopt or the amendment for the
Motion.
25-26 board calendar.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Griffin, seconded by Vice President Malloy. All in favor of the 25-26 calendar?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. We do not have any additional executive sessions, so I just implore my board colleagues to complete the survey. It ain't 11 o'clock, it's 9:38, so I think we did okay.
Yeah.
Everyone, thank you for joining us this evening. Have a great evening.
Motion to adjourn the meeting?
Oh, shoot, we got to leave, don't we? Motion to adjourn the board business meeting this evening
Motion.
by Vice President Malloy, seconded by Commissioner Santiago. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good night.